So I always love to start. I love to get, a 90-second one. Who are you? What's your company name and what do you guys do?
Well, I'm Amelia Soriano. I am heading up Burble Creativity, and we turn spaces into learning environments for neurodiverse learners.
That's amazing. So let's
Yeah.
let's dive into that. So maybe for our people who
Mm.
don't really know what that is or can't visualize it, maybe how do you sort of articulate what is it? How does it work? For our people who are sort of listening, what does it look like?
Yeah. So, like when if people have kids or when you were a kid, you would build a fort and you'd go into the fort and you'd read a
Mhm.
story or you play with, whatever toys you had and you kind of just hang out. And it was this little cool space for your own to be your own authentic self and really imagine
Mm.
parts of the story or imagine whatever you're pretending with your toys. We've taken that concept and we've built something very similar. So think of a two-man tent structure, but
Mhm.
we've outfitted it with lights and sound and an app that controls those lights and sound and also
Mm.
plays a narrative. And
Mm.
inside that environment that we've created, we really allow neurodiverse young adults and youth to be their most authentic self and really engage and meet them where they're at through story. And we help
That's
them connect to their imagination. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, what's the starting point of this? How does it sort of start coming together? You've got apps, you've got
Yeah.
software, you've got tech, audiences. What's sort of the starting ground for this?
The starting ground from the tech product side is just think of an integrated hardware and software that creates a
Mm.
digital immersed environment. If we talk about the starting point from what triggered this, it was our own team's personal experience with audio
Mm.
processing disorder and also just
Mm.
being deeply rooted within the neurodiverse community that helped us take an idea to a fully fledged and backed concept. And
Yeah,
we're ready to scale.
that's amazing. What's the first step then? I guess what was it back then that you guys saw and you're like, hey, I think there's actually something here around maybe taking those first steps out of the gate.
Yeah, so it would be awesome to also do a podcast with one of our founders, Taylor
Mm.
Cole. He had a personal experience with audio processing disorder where he was
Mm.
diagnosed with audio processing disorder. And what he found on his journey was there was no tool off the shelf that met him where he was to
Mm.
help engage and sustain engagement, but also retain information through conversations, stories, meeting notes.
Mm.
Developed one of our patents, which is our MDI or minimally defined immersion, which is a type of narrative structure that can be played in our immersive environments to help engage and retain what is being basically what story is being told or what
Oh.
narrative is being told. With that, he very sneakily got me involved with the product. I had a snowboard that used to be my brother's, and his daughter snowboarded, and I figured, hey, let me just see if he's interested in this snowboard. Instead of just giving it away, I wanted it to go to somebody that could get some good use out of it.
Sure.
We had, kind of known each other. He knew of my roles and work within the technology and product space and was interested
Mm.
in connecting with Burble. And for a while, I was like, I can't. I'm committed, fully fledged in another company.
Hmm.
We have IP coming out, and I love the concept, but I can't give a commitment. And I wish you all the best. But here's a
Yeah.
snowboard.
Yeah.
And so we coordinated a time for me to drop off the snowboard, and he just very, very conveniently happened to be at the Borns Youth Innovation Center. And I texted him. I said, hey, I'm here with the snowboard. And he said, cool, come on in. I'm inside the Burble story tent.
Mm-mm.
And I said, okay. So I walk in with the snowboard and all the boots and everything that goes with it, the bag. And I sit down in the story tent and he starts playing and he tells me of his experience with MDI, and his experience in being diagnosed with audio processing disorder. I got hit with a ton of emotional bricks and the light bulb moment all at the same time. And I believe I started crying in the tent, to be fully honest, because I have my own experience with neurodiversity in my family.
Mm.
And I wish that there was a tool for not only myself, but also my family members when they were younger to have this sort of inclusive regulation first environment that would allow them to enjoy stories, allow them to retain stories, and really, like I said, meet them where they were at in the way that their mind thinks, because there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
It's just they perceive the world and learn differently. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing. And so we sat in that story tent, I think, for about 2 hours after that. And I, from that day, was okay, I'm here. What do you need? What hasn't worked? What has
Yeah.
worked? Let's get this going. And I haven't looked back since. And it's been an incredible journey. It's been so much fun bringing this product from an idea into full concept. But I think even more is the amount of community and engagement and
Sure.
support and positive impact we're bringing, right? It's do
Hmm.
good tech, which is what we're all about.
Yeah. I want to dive into the story element. You've used that,
Mhm.
it feels like a pretty broad word here.
Yeah,
Are we talking about like open domain stories? Are we talking about custom stories from the ground up, specific authors maybe creating for this environment in
right.
particular? Like what does it mean when you're saying we listen to a story in this environment?
Yeah, so the story is structured in a very specific way. Again, using our minimally defined immersion, we take out definers of the story. So instead of saying you're going to hear birds in the
Mm,
forest, we'll say you'll hear creatures. And what do
mm,
those creatures look like? You will imagine yourself a different creature than I will.
mm,
And that allows for full engagement, allows for retention. So the stories are structured slightly different. Now, within our tech stack, we have leveraged AI to take public domain stories or take custom made stories and run them through our AI to produce the output into
mm.
our specific story structure that allows for
Gotcha.
this immersive engagement.
Wow, interesting, interesting. And then what are we looking at in terms of the hardware side? Like, am I bringing in a big machine here, a video
No,
projector? I mean, so what are we looking at in
no.
terms of the size and like what
The
am I bringing into a room here?
the footprint is actually really small. So think of a small two-person tent.
Okay.
It actually can fit over a twin size bed, or it can stand alone in the corner of your room. So we wanted to make it mobile. We wanted to make it accessible. We did not want to take up a lot of space.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think, if you take two, honestly, if you want to have a story time in your own space tonight, take
Hmm.
two table chairs and put them about 60 inches apart or something,
Hmm.
drape a blanket over that, pull in a flashlight, and you have essentially the square foot base of
Mm.
our structured tent.
Interesting, interesting. And what is sort of happening behind the scenes for these worlds to kind of interact? Is somebody using an iPad or something, or are they just hitting play and sitting there? Like, what's the user experience? What are they doing, I guess, in the tent as this is happening?
Yeah, so they are using a mobile device. It can be a laptop, it can be an iPad, it can be an iPhone,
Hmm.
and where they have downloaded our app. And the app is what controls the tent, but it's not a screen base where they're interacting with the screen.
Gotcha.
They're connecting to the tent, they're selecting whatever environment, story, or song that they want to experience in the tent, and they're hitting play. There
Mm,
is two modes to the tent where the tent can read along with you. So if the tent reads to you and you can listen to it, or you can listen to the story and read along at the same time. So those parents that are very interested in, hey, let's listen but read as well, we
mm,
can do that. So we
interesting.
remove the real engagement of the screen, but we're also not turning a blind eye to the positive impacts that technology can have. So we're
Right,
using the best
right.
of both worlds.
Yeah, it's awesome. I guess as you're telling me this, as I'm
Mhm.
hearing it, I have an age range in my mind. I'm thinking a little bit younger, but is there an age range that you're sort of thinking about right now that the product's being developed for?
Yeah, so our basic age range that we're really supporting right now is, think of school age kids. So everyone from 3 even up into high school, right? But the
Hmm.
feedback that we've gotten in the support we've gotten is, even adults want something like this. So
Mm,
our main age range that we're supporting is 3 to, roughly about 18, exiting high school, but it's for everybody. It's just
okay, okay.
it's a fun experience. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned feedback. What does that equal right now? I mean, how are you kind of gathering it, going after it? What are you even looking for feedback at this stage of the company?
Yeah, so we actually did over 100 prototype testing. And
Mm,
so we have clinical feedback. We also have, our beta testers and our pilot testers feedback. So we are really looking at those testimonials and those feedbacks from our pilot testers and our basically the communities that we co-collaborated with to create the product.
Mm,
But overall, what we're looking for is feedback on just, hey, when you interact with us as a corporation or when you interact with us through our social media, are you excited? Is this something
yeah.
that you can use? We have a wait list for our product. We have
Mm,
a massive wait list. So that in itself is positive feedback. But just, hey, how would you use this? And
yeah.
what type of things are you looking for in this? We've had a couple of concerns around, well, there's sounds and lights. Is there a heat problem? And we've
Mm,
built the tent with that in mind. So we have lights in there that are not extensive heat emitting. We are aerated. Our textiles are thoughtfully sourced. Our
mm.
structures are thoughtfully sourced. And we engage with everyone with the human centered first approach.
You talked a little bit a second ago, but also about partnerships. What does that equal? Like, are there specific partners that you've been kind of utilizing or looking for? What does partnership kind of look like right now?
Yeah, so we've partnered pretty extensively with a number of autism foundations in Southern
Mm,
California. We're also looking at partnership with Documenting Hope, the Hands In platform. So we are looking at multiple partnerships in supporting the neurodiverse community, but also the autism research community, as well as school districts. School districts
mm,
are something that we're
mm.
really interested in, and we are talking to about our partnership because we want to support all learners, right? And so
Yeah.
this, because our product is built partially on the three pillars of language development, it's really important for us to say, hey, we can help with literacy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what does regulations look like in this space? Is there something that you have to think about for it? Are there any rules or regulations? I guess I'm asking for myself here. I'm wondering what it looks like.
Yeah. So as we go down the path of being covered by insurance, we will have regulation and
Mm.
compliance rules that we will definitely adhere to. Some of these are things around safety and zipper access or component access,
Mm,
heat emissions, things
mm.
like that. So we are building the product and we have tested the product with those regulation items in mind. And we are making sure that we pass and stay compliant within those regulations.
Yeah. Is there anything on the medical side around just like the software or, I guess, working with the brain, the mind? I mean, is there anything
Yeah.
along those lines or not?
Yes, there are certain frequencies of lights, certain frequencies of sound, intensity of light, intensity of sound, even the coloring of light will
Mm,
have impact on the brain and regulation or regulatory of the nervous system. So we are looking at those. We have implemented rules within our product to make sure that we're sustained in that aspect and making sure that the product is truly neuro thoughtful, I guess,
sure.
first.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I want to move over a little bit business side. So obviously you
Okay.
mentioned a little bit ago wait lists, which is awesome,
Mhm.
right? Everybody
Yeah.
wants people on a wait list. That's amazing. I guess talk to us a little bit about maybe the go-to-market strategy. Is it going more commercial, the schools? Is there a focus? Is it just the autistic community? Is it everybody? I guess what are you
Right.
sort of thinking about right now on that go-to-market for right now?
Yeah. Well, as much as we want to boil the ocean out the get-go, that you just can't do that from business perspective. So our first phase of go-to-market is really focused around the direct consumer demand that we have. So we have this enormous wait list. We want to make sure that we service those customers. I mean, those families who really do have a need for this. So we're talking
Mhm.
about audio processing disorders, autism, ADHD. So those families who are said we're committed to buy and we would like this resource in our house.
Mm,
Those are the first people that we are servicing. Also, because if we have traction there and we have trust there, which we do, we're able to scale into the commercial and organization and school
mm,
district spaces more easily. So we want to make sure we build an advocacy and a community around our product, our first product, and then we expand into the commercial space. So from families, then we go into therapy centers,
mm.
clinics, sensory gyms, or
Interesting.
things like that. And then we will go into schools, more public spaces. There's a lot of talk around implementing this in an L&D sort of way for larger
Mm,
organizations because organizations, whether they have an initiative or not, there are neurodiverse workers in their workforce. And this
sure.
is a good opportunity to say, hey, you can learn our policies and our practices in an immersive setting that actually helps you
Yeah.
retain and be more a part of our culture.
Hmm. That's really great. How do you protect this, I guess? In terms of the IP, I'm assuming there's obviously stuff around the story and the app, but in
Right.
general, just as an investor might start looking at this, how do you sort of protect the concept or the idea as a whole?
Yeah, so we have a patent already. We have one pending, and we are working on 3 other ones. So we are protected from our technology, our product. We have 3 layers to our product, and our patent protects, or sorry, 4 layers to our product, and our patent protects all 4 of those layers because they are
Okay.
interlocking layers. And our new coming patents just add more protection around that. Our pending patent is actually taking the structure of the tent and patenting that as well.
Okay.
So yeah, we are definitely defensible. And because we're designed across all 4 layers, it's really, really hard to replicate what we're doing.
Mhm. Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Interesting. So I guess as of right now, you mentioned community a second ago too, which when I was diving in and have done a lot of research on you guys, are there anything you're doing in terms of like the communities it seems like you're going to go play in? Seems like
Mhm.
they must talk a lot. There must be a lot of
Yeah.
back and forth. I don't know if it's an affiliate program or something like that, but
Mhm.
how do you sort of think about some sort of giving back or rewarding sort of early adopters in this space?
Yeah, so we do have an affiliate program. We also have a
Okay.
nonprofit side of Burble
Oh,
Creativity. It's called Burble Neuro, and that is where we will continue to do clinical R&D. We will do outreach programs. We'll even do donation programs. So
hmm,
in partnering with, say, for example, the Autism Society of Southern California, we will have components that we can donate to those in most need. We can do sponsorships, all sorts of things. So we definitely living and breathing our mission statement and making sure from end to end we're incorporating those communities into everything that we do.
yeah, that's amazing. I think it feels like it should go hand in hand with the whole
Yeah,
project as a whole. Like it seems
absolutely.
like it's
Yeah,
yeah, it's a one hand to the other, right? Right and left
yeah,
hand working together at the end of the day.
yeah.
So where are you right now? I guess you're out raising capital,
Mhm.
looking for investors. Just walk us through a little bit around what does that mean? What is some of the use of funds? Like just what does raising capital right now look like for the company?
So raising capital right now looks like a lot of emails going out, a lot of outreach efforts, a lot of Zoom meetings and phone calls, looking for those impact and angel investors, also looking for, venture capitalists, people that are really interested in this mission that we have in the neurodiverse. Just kind of, you can't ignore this industry, this market space anymore. So
Yeah.
people that are looking to be, first market movers, we are the first to market with this sort of product, and we are a category creator. So we're really trying to target investors who see the potential, are excited about the traction that we have, and are looking to be part of this category creation for us. So lots of outreach, lots of networking,
Yeah.
lots of research too.
Eh, Has there been a consistent maybe no that you're hearing that you're working through or just trying to understand what an objection might look like, either in today's world or just some way that you're sort of navigating around that?
I like a no from an investor, a
And from
no from
on the investor side, yeah,
yeah,
just
yeah.
something that you're like, okay, we see that, we understand that, something like that.
Yeah, so we don't have a no for the product. We don't have a no for what we're trying to do. We don't even have a no for the use of funds, which you asked me about
Mm,
a
mhm.
few minutes ago. What we see a no from is this doesn't align with my portfolio. And
Oh,
then
interesting.
to fund or invest in startups that are SaaS driven or AI driven, or even have, multiple investor leads. We are still new, so we are still
Yeah.
really acquiring those investors. And the unfortunate part is, and this is where I'm outside of my comfort zone, not outside, but growing within my comfort
Mhm.
zone, is telling the story that we are an AI backed company. Like I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
we have our own AI models and learning models for story output and content creation. We also use it in the way that we've developed our app. So using it for the intent to do good as well. So
Yeah.
always using it in that sort of way, not to replace creativity in any sort of way.
Mhm.
But then also explaining that we don't stop at installation of our products. So most of the traditional products in the market stop at installation right now.
Mhm.
But because we are a digital platform plus integrated hardware, we actually act as a SaaS platform. We
Mm.
have long-term growth within our digital content and libraries. So once we have that conversation and that's more better understood, then the next steps become pretty easy.
Yeah. I always love to just get a bite size this, but how does Burple make money?
Yeah. How does Burble make money? Well, you buy a tent and you subscribe to our app. And that tent plus recurring revenue from licensing our app or having a membership to our app is the recurring revenue. And our biggest thing is it's accessible compared to any other solution that's on the market right
Yeah. And do you see it all it getting easier if there was, let's say, like one big pillar that falls, maybe, and I'm just using an example here of
now.
what you talked about, like, hey, we got this massive school district, or we got this partnership with a therapy company. I
Yep.
don't know, whatever it is. Do you see like, boy, if one of those happened, or that we got all the pre-orders out, or something along those lines
Mhm.
that you think would sort of snowball and pick up?
Yeah, absolutely. I think going into a school district, going into a clinic setting or a therapy office settings where there's
Hmm.
multiple locations, it would absolutely snowball because this entire category and industry, if you will, is really built on trust. There's so many tools out there where they say, hey, this is this and this is this, but it doesn't really meet the needs of the consumers or institutions where they're at. We're not a replacement for therapy. We're not a replacement for any medical thing. We're an assistive technology that becomes a mainstream creative platform later
Yeah,
down the road, right?
sure,
So
sure.
just like what we're seeing in our own organic waitlist, in our own traction or organic traction, once the word got out that we are here, that we're going, that wait list just grew and grew and grew and grew. And that's
Sure.
all organically. That's not saying we've got this marketing spend and all of these things. So just looking at the data, again, not being opinionated, even though I
Mhm.
have my opinion of verbal, right? But looking at the actual data gives us the validity and the credibility to say, yes, once one pillar falls, the rest will follow.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Outside of maybe raising capital, what's keeping you up at night?
Well, my background is in product innovation and tech, and also, my children. So they keep me up at night sometimes. But what keeps me up at night is the excitedness to get this into market. So
Mhm.
let me get the first ones delivered. Let me start improving on the feature set that I know we want to
Yeah.
build next. Let's get visibility out to those who are in higher visibility platforms. So artists, storytellers, persons that we know that can make a social impact. Let's get in front of
Yeah.
those people because at the end of the day, it is a community, can be a part of the digital content component of this so that we can get these stories out and we can really just say, hey, everyone's here to be creative together. We're all
Yeah.
connected through creativity. So understanding how to make that happen or the
Sure.
steps to do that is what keeps me up at night. So
Yeah.
the product innovation side, I will always think of that at night. And then, hey, how do I get in front of people to say, hey, come do this. This is a game changer for everybody.
Yeah. So my last question here is going to be, so with that expertise on
Mhm.
product, how do you sort of walk the fine line of features coming in the future, features that happen now? This is important now. This is,
Mhm.
if we use this, we'll yeah, that's okay for right now, our V1 or our version 2. But
Mhm.
how do you just sort of walk and stay focused and keep the car going forward and not
Right.
get bottled down with like, "Oh, I want to have all 10 features and then I'll ultimately never release anything, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So I will say that I've had plenty of experience in failed roadmaps and,
Yeah.
you know, tens of whatever multiple feature sets released. So I
Hmm.
am not coming from a novice background on that. I do truly believe in starting at the end. So we do have the end goal in mind. We know what, and working backwards from that point to today and taking those milestones into account allows me to say, this is important right now for this version. The next set comes in here and the next set comes in there. And
Right.
luckily, we have a very experienced team. We have a very dedicated team who also has extensive background in delivering versions that are user centered. And that makes sense and don't overpromise, but still deliver consistent results with precision. So yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
that's how we do
Very
it.
cool. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of this day of this
Yeah,
conversation. It was really cool stuff.
of course.
Where should we send people? Where should they go to kind of dive in and learn a little bit more about what you guys are doing, the raise, all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so we have our website, burblecreativity.com, and we have our other website, which is invest at burblecreativity.com or investburblecreativity.com. Go there, have a look. You can contact us directly with any questions. We're also active on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can reach me directly on LinkedIn with any sort of feedback, questions. Hey, I should have done my hair a little bit better for this podcast, whatever it is. But yeah, we are definitely here to engage with the community.
Awesome. Well, Amelia, I appreciate you taking time out of your day. Really cool stuff. I love the story. I love what you guys are working on. I
Thanks.
see it. It makes complete sense. It's awesome. So yeah, I appreciate it. And good luck with the raise and good luck with the future here. I love what you're working on. Awesome stuff.
Thank you so much. This was really fun. So
Excellent.
happy to
Bye
come
now.
back.